Ready for countdown.
Hey,
Alright.
yeah.
So, hello everybody, I'm MrWalrus, and with me today is...
Jan.
A Frippic?
Yeah?
Why did you say my name?
So I'm just gonna start from new game so we can watch the amazing boat cutscene from the start, because there isn't enough boat cutscenes in this game, clearly.
That's it. Watch it. Casting off line. Casting off.
Normally we would start from a loading screen that is after this cutscene, but we felt like doing it from a new game.
Take us straight to Dunwall Tower. Lord Corvo has
Timing doesn't start until we have full control. This is basically just an interactive cutscene where you can move your camera, nothing else. This game has a bunch of these.
superstition.
Yeah.
For all we know,
And it
there's
would
a
be
miracle
quite
plague by
frustrating
now.
to start to run with this
We live in
every
strange
time.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially since we do some pretty crazy stuff at the beginning.
Months. That's
indeed.
unusual. Well, this was important.
So the crazy stuff that Frippic here is referring to is called elevators. Now, how that works is that every single 90-degree corner in the game is kind of broken. There is one pixel on it that you can actually climb up, and you can achieve that by just jumping backwards and then just holding space, and then you'll essentially just climb up the corner to the very top.
Yeah, we don't know why, but apparently corners are made up of stacked ledges, and you can just climb all of them and get to the top of the wall. And we're going to be abusing that to skip a cutscene in the beginning and skip a tutorial as well.
Yeah, it's pretty big at the early game. Later on we're only gonna use like one of those.
Once we get the blink ability.
Alright, so
it
time
becomes
starts now. Alright, so I'm just gonna get off this boat and do those elevators here. Oh. A little bit slow, but that's fine. So what that skips is just a cutscene with Emily there that was waiting on the other side of the bridge. She'd like hug you, and it would take about 20 seconds or so. And
Yeah.
skipping it saves like 15 or 16.
They're my citizens, and we will save them from the plague if we can. All of them.
Something along the lines of that.
We will not.
We also just don't like Emily.
Yeah. Then there was a little bit of optimization I did there where I jumped into the cutscene, but I started holding F too early. Normally you'd be able to like start skipping the cutscene while midair and still moving. To save like half a second or a little bit less than that even.
It's a fair wind.
There's a lot of really small optimizations in terms of cutscenes and stuff. And how you skip it.
So after we give her the letter, we're gonna do something pretty funky. We're gonna go flying with the seagulls. And now we're up here. And I think I'm still the only one who does this crap where you go around the invisible wall.
It's pointless.
Yeah, but it's something to do during this part. And
Walrus is crazy, don't listen to him.
I'll probably fall off, just to show how good this strat is. Alright, so now the assassins would be warping in, and it's basically kind of a tutorial fight. So the game doesn't want you to die. So if you take a shit ton of damage, you'll just trigger the cutscene instantly, instead of having to actually fight the assassins. Saves like 5 seconds or so.
Get away from her.
Also, if you don't fall close enough to the gazebo, there's an extra cutscene, so going around like that is actually good, but most of us just kind of jump closer to it. Walrus is just crazy and likes to do things for fun.
Yeah.
Corvo, it's all coming apart. Find Emily. Protect her.
So I guess next thing to mention would be the
I
ass.
don't know what to do.
Yes, the
Yeah.
storage skip.
Corvo,
Yeah.
So the way that S's work is certain cutscenes can be skipped, such as the one that has Sokolov earlier that we jumped through, and Certain cutscenes can't be skipped, such as this one, and if you start holding the skip button during a cutscene that can't be skipped and keep it held down and don't press certain buttons like enter or scroll your use key, then you can skip a skippable cutscene as soon as you get to it because you've stored the skip during a cutscene that couldn't be skipped. And that saves about 0.7 seconds every time you do it.
Yeah. Some cases it saves a little bit less, some cases a little bit more.
It kind of depends on what cutscene. This cutscene, it saves more than I think usual,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I think it's like almost a full second here. Then they put us to prison, but too bad we can just get out of here.
This prison, the people that built this prison forgot to put in ceilings.
Yeah. That's a pretty good prison as well.
Yeah, that was really good. Also, Walrus is going to crouch usually when he goes into water because it keeps you from going all the way down. Unless he wants to go lower, which usually you don't want to go into water very deep.
Yeah. And
then
not going lower saves like 5 frames in that case. And only like 3 on the next part, so... We're talking like pretty small optimizations here.
But it's a very easy one, so
Yeah.
why not do it?
Yeah. Also, you're going to see Walrus vaulting multiple objects, because vaults are silly, and if you vault something and then get to a height that you can vault something else, you'll also vault that. So you can just kind of like keep vaulting things as long as you're continually gaining height. And so he did that with the boxes at the beginning of this. Oh, you still grab the corpse.
Sliding
Yeah, there's a
into
strat
it is
where
pretty
you
silly.
Yeah, you can slide into it, and it's faster than grabbing the corpse and slower than throwing the ball.
But it's pretty awkward to slide, in my opinion.
It's
You
super
get stuck
awkward, yeah.
under the wheel. I don't like it.
This elevator saves 7 seconds. Why not do it?
Yeah, just keeps
You tried-
climbing up the chain there.
Yeah, he tried to vault a railing there, but sometimes vaults can be kind of finicky.
Yeah. So now we have our weapons, and one thing I'll constantly be doing with our weapons is spinning them in the air. And that's not just because it's cool, it's because I'm doing a glitch called swordless. So with the sword you actually run about 10% slower. And to avoid that you simply start putting them away and then right click. And that way you'll keep the secondary ability.
This only works with Corvo's sword because of the animation.
You can do it with the other sword, but it's like the timing is extremely tight.
Yeah.
Or if you cheat like me, you can also do it by doing some INI edits.
They said you'd
Huh?
come out here. I can still hardly
Yes, because we enjoy editing INI files.
from here.
Yeah, that's one thing with this game. We have edited the INI pretty heavy by this point.
It's only the FPS and the inputs. So basically we uncap the FPS so the elevators get more consistent. You can still do all the elevators that we do on the route with the 130 that the regular cap is. They just get a bit more consistent with higher FPS.
And it also makes it so that lower end PCs can get a better time, because smooth frame rate being capped so low actually makes it run worse.
Yeah.
The watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped,
And it makes blinks slower for people who don't have as high of a, or as good of a hardware. Good as, whatever.
take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Royalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that
So
missing
yeah,
girl,
after I get out of the boat, I'm gonna go talk to the guys at the bar, and then I'll be doing another just a cutscene skip thing we talked about earlier. And actually after this point the game gets a bunch more interesting.
We can continue this later.
Yeah, because we're going to be getting an ability called Blink, and we're going to have to manage our magic, because Blink is the fastest form of movement, but it requires magic. So the way that we optimize the magic is pretty well done. It's pretty hard to save any time over it. We're gonna be blinking a lot and also picking up a lot of magic potions.
You get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
And
So
here is
coming up here
actually...
also- yeah, the newest skip in the
Oh
game.
god.
The outsider warp, where you
Alright, so-
do a jump input just before we fade out here, and we do it with a scroll wheel nowadays.
We do it with free scroll, because it's the only way to get it.
Nah, you can do it with spacebar also. It's just
Yeah,
Oh, that's
except it's
consistent.
like almost frame perfect. And this game runs at a lot of frames.
Yeah. So one interesting thing about the mana management in the game is that you can always regen 1 blink's worth of mana. So you really want to like place the regens and then the potion usages optimally. And also after certain missions you gain your mana back to the full. So that's another thing you gotta keep in mind whenever you're routing the mana for this game.
Yeah, basically you want to end any section where you get a regen afterwards with 0 magic. But and we want to end tower with no magic and no potions, which is what we're going to try to do.
Well, let's get down.
Obviously using as much magic as we can, but we also have to keep magic for later, so
Ready to go?
it's an interesting concept.
Also the tiniest little optimization that I keep doing is equipping my sword with the block key, which actually instantly equips it instead of getting that little animation of pulling out the sword. And that actually lets me do the swordless glitch faster, which gets me back into moving 10% faster.
Half the city's dead of the plague.
So it just saves like
Fighting over what's left.
ridiculously small amounts of time.
Watch still holds the
Like
biggest
0.1
it's
second every
also-
time you do it.
Yeah.
But it's also very nice in places where you're supposed to kill the target, where you can
Yeah.
pull out the sword just before attacking him, instead of pulling it out and waiting for the animation before being able to attack him.
like that Granny Rags.
Yeah, exactly.
They say she's nuts.
Just a neat little thing.
Which is worse? Just take your pick.
So something to mention now that we have Blink, there's something called damage canceling in this game. Basically, when you land after a fall, there's certain animations that can happen. You can get like a soft landing or a hard landing where you have an animation after you fall. And then there's something called damage canceling, where if you fall a certain amount of time, you take damage, but you don't get the animation for taking the damage. And that generally saves time because aiming up or down shortens the blink, and so you want to blink straight forward, but you don't want to get an animation when you land. So Walrus is going to be controlling how full he falls, or how long he falls when he does fall off, so that he gets the most distance and also doesn't take an animation using damage cancels or soft landings.
So that was the first clip of the game we just saw, where he clips through the door, and that's something you achieve by sprinting towards the side and leaning, and that way you can push your camera through objects, and while doing that you can actually blink on the other side. It's pretty well timed, but not too hard to get.
Man, I got
Yeah,
the
we-
water.
Drowning.
Save us, Sam.
So another
Yeah,
thing
basically, go ahead.
So another thing I did during the mission is pick up a couple of runes, and that let me purchase agility 1, and that let me double jump, and that way I was able to like go around the level much faster. And later on we'll be getting agility 2, which makes you move way faster, and then blink 2, which just makes your blinks go further.
Yeah, those are the only upgrades we need in the game. And the runes are pretty easy to get.
All citizens living on the north side.
This is one of those sections where we get a regen, so we wanted to be out of magic there.
So here normally you'd go and talk to Havelock, but you can actually enter into the sewers this way and kill the Weepers, which is the objective of the mission here.
Interesting note though, there's a girl named Callista who usually appears after you do this, if you're slow. But if you don't talk to Havelock, she will never appear. So we never get the Callista of shame.
It's the other one.
He has news for me.
Is it the other one?
Yeah.
What's her name? I forgot.
Probably something C as well.
I've always called her Callista. Oh well. I'm sure she doesn't mind.
Alright, so this mission is the Golden Cat. There's basically 2 targets in this mission that we gotta kill, and those targets can be in 2 different sets of rooms. And I'll know when I enter into like the main hall there. I'll see if one of the rooms has lights on it, then I'll know if I get good luck. Or if it doesn't have the lights, then I get bad luck. Bad luck is only 2 seconds slower nowadays. But if I get bad luck here, it's probably gonna be a little bit slower, because I'll be taking it kinda slow and making a quick save and whatnot. Because with bad luck you have to go out of bounds and do this pretty cool nade throw. But it's kind of risky. So in a marathon run, it'll be quite a bit slower. But it's fine.
Bad luck is cooler, but it's less consistent and slower.
With bad luck, you actually have to... You don't encounter as many guards, which has become a bit of a bigger problem lately due to the new potion pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guards are annoying if they get in your way, which is a huge problem in Golden Cat.
It's probably the worst area for that. Because it's a relatively closed space. So you can't like blink around them easily. So there was one more rune and one more here, and then I'll get blink 2. And we're getting good luck, so that's cool.
Dang. Alright, so we have blink 2 and agility 2, so we're moving at full speed.
Ugh, got stuck on one guard there a little bit. It's not too bad though.
No, that was a pretty good cat. Emily gets stuck because we're too fast, so we have to push her to get her to not be stuck anymore.
Otherwise,
Ooh, got the blink
the objective
glitch.
won't update and you can't finish the mission.
Oh yeah, so sometimes when you drink a potion, if you have autopod on, then
You also blink, yeah.
yeah, and it's a real pain in the ass.
I'm pretty good at avoiding that, because you can just drink potions whenever you have just blinked, so you can't even blink at that point. And that helps avoiding it, but it's kinda...
Yeah, most
So
people
you did the business, did you?
Most
go
people
ahead.
who run the game a while get good at not getting that glitch, but it does happen, and it's unfortunate, but there's not much you can do about it. It's just gonna happen to you sometimes.
Oh,
Or you could not be a noob and
I mean, your ladyship.
just have a manual potion key.
It's okay.
It's more nice to just spam one button instead of...
Yeah.
I should concentrate on.
Wait, do you not have that either, Jan?
No. Autopod.
I mean, I'm just saying, the top 3 runners, everyone who has a sub 35 has autopod on, so...
It's clearly strats. Also, here we have the best dialogue in the game.
Young Lady Emily, I'm Callista. I'll be caring
So
for
just
you in
listen
school
carefully.
while you're with us.
Pleased to meet you.
As am I. Would you like to see your room in the tower?
Can I see it?
Yes, you may. You'll get to see it all. The entirety of the Hound Pits.
Like,
Good.
why is that in the game?
I'll go with closer.
Every time I go
Can
past
see it?
this,
Yes, you may.
every time I go past this, I'm like, how did nobody mention that this dialogue is fucking shit?
Armed with a blade that changed the course of the
Like,
city.
who even writes that?
And with the Pendleton twins gone, our own Lord Pendleton will assume their...
Right, so funny thing about this intermission is that you actually get a mana refill for it and after it, so we can blink quite a bit here,
need to speak to you soon.
which is cool.
As long as you don't drink a potion.
Request your attention.
Yeah, and the mana route just perfectly lines up so you end with 0 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my
So, just a bunch of blinks there.
We'll get our sleep later. Just
Next up is the mission where we're gonna be capturing Sokolov. It's pretty straightforward. The first map is actually kind of timed. Samuel has to finish talking about the lights that you have to deactivate. Otherwise you'll get this kind of semi-soft lock. And you'd have to go back on the previous area until he finishes the dialogue.
Yeah, we're gonna do another clip here. Since we didn't explain clipping, well, we kind of did, but I'll just go over it. Basically, blink comes from your camera, not your body. So by leaning and then running towards the wall, you can force your camera through a wall, and then blink because the blink is coming from the camera, and you're on the other side of the wall.
Philosophy business, new technology, potions and the like, seems dangerous to me. But what do I know? Here we are.
I got it first try, because why not?
That one's pretty easy.
Yeah. And the easiest way to avoid that soft lock that I was talking about is to just look at the top right corner, and once you see the quest update there, you can go on. And actually, up until recently, I was looking at the quest marker on the door until Furpik told me that it pops up on the right corner.
Yeah, I always thought it was the quest marker as well, but when I was testing things for the segmented run that we were working on, I found out that the thing at the top right usually appears first and will also be a good indicator. Or is a better indicator, I should say.
Especially if you get close, the quest marker on the door becomes fairly transparent.
Yeah.
Sokolov, please. Barely missed the dart, that's fine. Shots missed and fired.
Oh god.
Can't even hit a few shots.
Yeah, I can't even hit the, like, 3 shots that I'm doing during the run. Right, so again, after this cutscene, there's gonna be a cutscene skip prompt, and I'll just hold F into, and that'll instantly skip it. Again, saving 0.8, 0.7, something like that.
This was, I think, the first one that we found.
Yeah.
I don't remember who found it, but I don't think it was Ari who found this one, but then Ari figured out how it worked and how to do it in other places. And that's why it was named after Ari.
I think it was either Evil Duck or Dramhad who found this.
I thought it was Black Widow, but it could have been Evil Duck. I don't think it was Dram.
Okay.
Could have been, I don't know. Dram finds a lot of things.
I think somebody else found another one somewhere, and then Ari was like... started connecting the dots.
I accidentally got one in intro, but I didn't understand what had happened. I got the one on Sokolov after talking to Emily. This was before elevators. And Ari figured out what happened and then connected the two.
Royal physician, you're part of this.
Are you going for the double S?
No.
I hear
What
you.
a scrub.
Double ass is too big.
Royal costume ball, huh?
Alright, so next up is like the main RNG point of the run, and it's quite amazing because we've optimized the game to the point where if you want to get the record you need the best luck.
Yeah, you can't get world record without getting good luck.
Yeah.
1 in 3 chance.
It's 1 out of 3, so all the other runs are basically dead if you want like world record pace run.
You basically have to gold everything else if you want to get the record with bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even all my other, like, my run is only like 13 seconds away from my gold or so.
And it saves about 18, 16 seconds, somewhere between
Yeah.
those two.
I think the best bad luck cat with this strat has been like a 313, 314, and that was really good.
You mean Boyle?
But that's not even worse luck, so...
I would explain this, but it takes forever. It's really
Just do it, I'm
complicated how
doing
works.
bad luck now.
Alright, so basically what he did was he killed one of the boils and then checked a note that was out of bounds. So basically in this game, in this mission there are 3 boils, and each of those boils has a separate room. And there's a note that spawns in one of those rooms that tells you which boil you're supposed to kill, because you only need to kill one of them, or you can kill all 3 like he did. And we found out that all of the notes that tell you which boil it is for all of the different rooms that they're supposed to spawn in are always loaded into the map somewhere, and you can read it from out of bounds. But if the game doesn't decide that the boil that you're supposed to kill is the boil that you read the note for, then it doesn't complete the mission, unless that boil is dead. So if a boil is dead, and you read the note that tells you that she's your target, even though she's not, then the game will automatically complete the mission, because when it tries to see where she is to mark her, it sees that she's dead and just completes the mission, even though she's not your target. So he tried to do that, but because that boil wasn't Esma specifically, it was faster to just kill the other 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a mouthful for
so now you know, guys.
The more you know.
Sorry if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
She helped the Lord Regent kill the Empress, so I don't feel a thing.
I'm actually working on a 15-minute tutorial explaining everything about Boyle.
Nice.
They would like to see you.
Boil is pretty complicated, but the way we do it at 90% is you kill a boil, then you check a note.
Where did I get stuck on? What?
If the game doesn't say that that was the boil, you kill the other 2. You got what? You like got clipped into the wall.
That's pretty good.
This game is silly. That was good other than that.
Yeah. This run has been decent so far. Nothing big. Bad Boil, I guess, was the biggest time was really.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even explain... Well, whatever. It's too late now.
What did we miss?
Shaw.
Oh, right, yeah, the note. Basically, I just gave a note to a dude in the previous mission to avoid some dialogue. It's basically the short version of it.
Yeah. And, yeah, if you don't do that, the Pendleton kept on blabbering about it for a while.
Also, funny thing we've found about this game at the ESA is that if you don't have an audio device plugged in, you're gonna be losing time in a lot of places. NPCs that are talking to you will, like, in between their dialogue lines, will just be staring at you for a while. For like a solid 7 seconds sometimes.
Yeah, it's extremely awkward. And, like, we were practicing Dishonored at ESA, and me and Walrus played without audio devices, and after a while we just noticed that the dialogues were a lot longer, especially the one there with Pendleton.
At first I was like...
really long pause and stares at you.
Oh yeah, that was called the slip grab. So basically, using the same idea of forcing your camera out of bounds and then blinking, you can force your camera through an object and then grab something from inside or through a wall or a door. And that's called a slip grab. And he uses that to grab the confession without opening the safe because it's slow.
Yeah, and this is one of the few missions where we actually do the non-lethal way, because it's a bunch faster. I guess in I guess in the next missions though we'll just be ignoring our targets because you don't have to do anything about them.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Are you gonna do
Big changes.
the double?
Makes me uneasy to tell the truth.
The double, yes.
The double.
And the 3-minute ass.
Going to be different now.
Yeah, the 3-minute ass.
It's not even 3 minutes though, but
It is though.
no.
Guessing our work.
The cutscene's like 3.5 minutes.
The others are in the bar.
Yeah, but you
Where is
only
it?
Waiting to raise a glass.
you kind of hold it like it takes 3 minutes until you get control again, but
Reflect on things while we have a moment.
the ass lasts like 2.5.
Congratulations, Corvo.
So again, I'm gonna be holding F from this cutscene onto the next one, and then out of there, I'll be holding it. Like now I'm holding F again, and I'll bring it over to my room here.
The only bad thing about doing this is you can't move right very easily because you're holding F. So unless you move your hand position, you can't really move to the right when you're doing an ass. So Walrus is gonna do the longest ass in the game, or the longest trick in the game. He's gonna hold the cutscene that happened right before this flooded, or before this cutscene. He's gonna hold a skip from that cutscene all the way until after this cutscene. There's another cutscene with the outsider that he's gonna skip instantly.
So yeah, this is clearly serious time. I need to really focus. Everybody give me your energy to hold this F key down. Press F to pay respect.
Just use some quarters. It'll be fine.
But that's tool assisted.
Yeah. Still is being finished.
I guess we could go through the story while we have time here. You wanna do it, Trippic, or?
The story. The story of this game is go fast and kill everyone.
Yeah,
Oh.
and here you got backstabbed by your so-called friends, and now you're finding this assassin dude. Okay.
The story of this game is Emily
Stuff
gets kidnapped.
happens.
You rescue her. She gets kidnapped again, and you rescue her.
That's pretty much it. It's like Super Mario all over again.
Save the princess from the castle.
Bodyguard. I recognize those marks on your hand. Forgive me.
Dowd is the coolest character ever.
The one who talks
In
to you
well, in Dishonored, he's the coolest character
talks to you when you visit his
because,
shrines.
you know, Corvo has the personality of wet cardboard,
And I know what it felt like to shove a blade into
and Dowd is a total badass. So everyone loves Dowd compared to Corvo.
and who you fight for.
So after I bring the ass to the cutscene here, I'm gonna go into Flooded, which is a pretty hard place to actually go fast, but I'm pretty confident about my abilities there. There's a pretty neat clip at the start there. It's one of the weirdest clips, I guess. You gotta kind of jump into a slip clip, which is the leaning towards a wall clipping method. And we actually used to have another clipping method that was done by looking down and double jumping, but they actually patched that. But the lean clip still works in all the versions.
Lane clipping is faster anyways, and uses less magic and is easier.
First try, of course.
Walrus is really good at that.
Oh, but I failed sloth jump. That's pretty good.
Sloth jump still killing runs in 2015.
You can never be too good to fail it.
Yeah. I thought I aimed right as well, I just got like kinda stuck in a weird ledge there.
Yeah, there's like a lip on the top that you can get stuck on.
So here's Dowd. He's the target here, but you don't have to kill him. You can just go past him. There's also a couple of different clipping ways to go past him without ever like going into his office to get the key. But all of those kind of mess up your mana route, because there's a potion right next to there. So it doesn't actually waste time to just get the key. The mana route works out better, at least for me, this way.
I timed it, and if you do the doubtless, you actually lose a second because of magic.
Oh.
If you grab the potion that AC grabs, otherwise you lose more. So it ends up being slower, even though it's faster in that specific section.
Exactly. And there what I did is called a current skip. I basically jumped into this water current, and I quickset and quick loaded, and for whatever reason, whenever the game is running at low FPS, the current will pull you really strongly. And actually during the loading screen, the game will run just for a few frames at a really low frame rate, and that somehow warps you across the river. Don't ask. I don't know if anybody has better things to say about that.
No, that's...
We just, while we were trying it out, we just tried it at very low frame rates. Just did some I&I edits and tried it. And it's like 5 FPS, you skyrocket through the entire current in less than a fraction of a second.
Yeah, and that's basically what happens during the load screen, we just don't see it. And there we did a skip with Samuel. Just like activate his dialogue and then blink into his ship. And that way you'll get the dialogue options instantly. Otherwise he'd talk for a little bit longer before you get them. Saves like, what, 15 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. Basically, the cutscene starts and then he goes too far away, so the cutscene ends. And then you just get to him to finish it. It's kind of weird.
And welcome to the final level. That's the browser's tower, well, where he's holding Princess Peach, Emily. And yeah, we're just gonna go rescue her.
Good luck, Corvo. If anyone deserves it, you...
And this route here is actually pretty cool. We do a nice little trick that we don't really do anywhere else. I'll probably try to see if we could do this double blink thing anywhere else. But yeah, this is pretty cool.
You can do it in tower if you have more magic. And to Sam.
And there we go, pretty good.
I've done it in Campbell as well. Doesn't say much, but it's you can do it. It's a bit risky, but you can do a double jump when you're going into the Campbell's place.
It really
there.
only saves time if you're going over like a gap. So there's not a whole lot of places where it would be useful.
Alright, so get ready on time.
And going, leaving the...
And time!
I knew you'd come.
Leaving the elevator the way that he did saves a second.